It's a good question. I had been in the business environment for 2 years subsequent to college. I was coaching football and basketball at a local high school and selling mortgages for a little while, and then clerked at a law firm and became very interested with the nature of the legal work. And on top of that, I had been involved with a lot of business with my father, who encouraged me to go out and learn all that mystic information that lawyers somehow knew, so that you weren't relying on what a lawyer said. Instead, you could provide that information yourself. And so I decided to do law school, and had a very good time in law school. Enjoyed the course of studies, enjoyed the folks I was in law school with, and really determined through the internships that I had in law school that I wanted to be an entrepreneur and not go to work for somebody, but instead service clients and build my own practice. And so that's what I've done since graduating from law school.
Did you start as a solo practitioner?
I went out with a partner, a buddy of mine who was a beer drinking buddy and golfing buddy from law school.
And that's how you formed this firm?
We formed the precursor to this firm.
Okay.
And over the years, different machinations and combinations of partnerships came into what is now Zakhem Atherton.
Okay. Didn't want to do the big corporate law thing?
Nope, couldn't do that. I like relying on myself and the team that I believe in. I don't like being in a position where I have to blame someone else for my failures or thank someone else exclusively for my successes. The team that I'm on right now, we share our failures and successes together, and we have an esprit de corps that is quite amazing.
It sounds like a good setup. Let's talk about financial literacy a little bit. Give us your take on the overall state of financial literacy in America.
Well, I mean, it depends on to whom you're speaking when you talk about it. I mean, there are brilliant folks who understand finance very well, but I would say, and obviously, as I'm assuming the focus of your discussion is on how the average citizen, well, the guy I like to call Joe Sixpack, deals with personal finances, I'd say it's very problematic in America. If there is an aspect of my practice that comes up repeatedly, whether it be in dealing with professionals like doctors or other lawyers who are clients, or engineers, chiropractors, people who are very well educated by all other measures, or folks who just have a high school education or maybe even a high school dropout. I would say that their sophistication in dealing with their personal finances on average is not very impressive. I think that there's probably a need for a greater focus starting at a young age with financial responsibility. Is that exclusively the province of the formal educational system, schools? I don't think so. I think parents need to take a responsibility to teach their children what it means to be financially responsible and how microeconomics works in a household. But I also think that there is a strong sense of, well, that's not what I want to say. I think there is definitely a need for a focus in financial education at the primary and secondary levels of school. I didn't get any class that I can recall on how to balance your checkbook, or the education or the instruction that you've got to spend less than you bring in. That was taught to me by my family. It wasn't taught in school. And, unfortunately, we don't live in a society where every child has the blessing of parents who are mentoring them in this area very well. The schools should, in my mind, focus on educating a viable citizen. And a viable citizen is somebody who is responsible for their own conduct, and that includes financial responsibility. So you look at some of the crises we're in economically on a macroeconomic scale, and they are derived by virtue of microeconomic, irresponsible financial decisions by a gross amount of people in our country and globally. You look at the credit crunch in America and globally, and it stems by virtue of the fact that credit was offered to everybody freely for the last 30 years at least.